Hey guys, welcome to my first storytime video. Today I will be talking about my experiences with PTSD and the issues that it has being stereotyped. So I want to make sure I cover everything that I have on my mind, but also I want to disclose the fact that everybody's experience with PTSD is different, and everybody's experiences with people with PTSD is different. But I do want to say that this is solely based on opinion, a little less factual. So, with that being said, get right into it. I've been struggling with PTSD since I was about 12 years old. I'll be coming up on my 16th birthday pretty soon, and I just kind of felt like it's my time to start speaking out. It's common for trauma victims, especially people who have been through a lot of trauma, to have PTSD. PTSD can be very slim or very severe. I don't have like an extreme severity of it, but it's definitely not easy to live with. In another video, I will explain how I came to have PTSD, but for now, I just want to keep it straight to the point. So, PTSD is stereotyped all the time. You must have been in the war, or you must have been, you must have seen something awful. But you can get PTSD from many things. I had a friend who had PTSD from seeing a dead body. Anything that puts your brain through trauma could lead you to having post-traumatic stress. So it could be something as simple as a car accident, or seeing someone die, or seeing a dead body. The more common one is, of course, war, or even now, rape. Women tend not to speak up about rape, or even having PTSD or depression or anxiety, because from my perspective, it seems like everybody's just too busy doing what they're doing, and they don't really have time to listen to you talk about your problems. And I've had millions of struggles trying to get to see counselors, trying to find the right help and what works best for me. My PTSD is very hard to deal with. I have panic attacks. There will be times where I forget things. And of course it sounds like, oh, well, we all have that. Except it's not just a normal panic attack because you have a test the next day, or you forgot your car keys on the table and you're halfway out the door. It's constant. It's like every time you turn around, something else is worrying you. And it could be something simple like, oh my gosh, they're laughing, so they must be talking about me. It could be somebody completely, like, they don't have any idea who I am, I don't have any idea who they are, but your brain just kind of goes, oh my god, they must know me somehow, they must be talking about me, they must be thinking about me. And when you are in a constant state of that kind of fear, it's like you're walking on eggshells all the time. I have always been told, oh, you're being dramatic, or you're being over-emotional because of your hormones. Men can be the same way, and it has nothing to do with just because I'm a female and I have a period. It's an actual imbalance in your brain. And it's not easy to go through life thinking that you're in danger. It's like flight or fight, right? Fight or flight. And you're constantly in that fight mode because something, just anything bad is going to happen. You don't know what, you don't know when, you don't know how, but you can just feel it. Like it's going to happen. It doesn't matter. I think the biggest issue for me is going out into public places. If there's a lot of people, I'll start to feel like I can't breathe. I'll start to feel like everyone's looking at me. I need to go. Like, I need to get out of this situation. And everybody's like, oh, why don't you just walk away from the situation and just try to breathe? Well, that doesn't work for everybody. It may work for, my friend, or it may work for my mom or my dad, but it doesn't work for me. And then people are like, oh, well, if you're having a panic attack, try putting water on your face. That doesn't exactly help me either. And I've always, my question has always been, what do I do when I'm starting to have a panic attack? Not already in that panic attack, already sweating, already crying, already, hyperventilating. What do I do when I'm starting to get there? Because the water thing really only works if you're already in your panic attack and you're already like, oh my God, I can't breathe. That's when you would do the water. And yeah, every once in a while that does help. But what do I do when I feel like, okay, there's just too much going on. I can't get myself out of the situation. I have nowhere to go. What do I do in this situation? Do I breathe? Your brain can't think rationally in that moment. So I'm not just sitting there going, okay, I just need to take a deep breath. Like, I'm going to be fine. Especially being young. You just start jumping to conclusions. You're like, okay, well, I'm stuck in this situation. There's nothing I can do. I'm having a panic attack. Somebody help. And everybody always says, oh, you need to learn how to deal with it yourself. Like, you can't just rely on people all the time. Like, there's got to be a point where you take it upon yourself to heal your own situation. So in that moment, what do? And I've been told millions of things. I've been told to journal. I've been told to hug a stuffed animal, or breathe, or put water on my face, or count to whatever number. But so far, it seems like none of that has worked. And the struggle of finding a counselor that is cheap enough for my mom to afford and close enough for us to get to, I mean, she works. People work, It's like nobody really wants to help, and that's the issue. And that's why a lot of people don't talk about it. I mean, my friend has it, and she'll never talk about it. Because to her, it's like, well, nobody wants to listen. And I understand that. And for 12 years, I was struggling with the trauma that I was going through, and nobody wanted to listen. So PTSD for me is like that constant fear of nobody can help you, you're all alone. And I find it hard to want to even keep going most of the time. It's like the world is putting so much pressure on you, you're stuck. You're like, okay, well, either I sit here and take it or I walk away, but sometimes you can't walk away. Overall, PTSD is very stereotyped. Soldiers who've been in war, I mean, I feel the same way, I can hear a certain thing and I'll get flashbacks from the trauma. But people just like to say, oh, well, you're being dramatic, or it'll get better, or it'll go away. But what we need you to say, what we're asking you to say is, how can I make it better? How can I help? And the biggest thing that people don't do, especially for like a veteran who fought in Vietnam, who's sitting on the streets homeless because nobody wants to listen, nobody wants to help him, that might be the one thing that would help him in that moment anyways. What can I do to help you? What can I do to make this easier for you. And I think that if we all tried to just ask somebody how we could help them out in that moment, I think that this world could brighten up a little bit. So that's all I have to say today. Hopefully I'll be making more videos. We'll see how this goes. But thank you for watching.